You're tuning into the Black Fire Radio. The Pan-African Bliss Show every Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The Pan-African Bliss Show. Let's go. Yes, my city, why? The Robbins here, Jamaican brother there. Reaching out to all the masses on the African continent. YouTube. Daily, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned.
Magic's anger on the beat. Yes, welcome people. Karibuni sana to another beautiful station right here on the Black Fire Network radio station. This is the Pan-African Bliss, and of course, I'm your one and only JOBY, and it is exactly 45 minutes past 12 p.m. right here in the 254. I don't know if you are in diaspora, Jamaica, whatever island you're listening to me from, what's the time on your end, and of course, Karibuni sana to this amazing session of today. Blessed Thursday to everyone listening to me via the radio station, on Rumble, on Spreaker, those who are live with me, those who get to listen this show on Spotify. Hope you get to enjoy. And of course, to everyone and all our first-time listeners right here on TikTok. Karibuni. Shout out to you, Penny Boy. Shout out to everyone following the host. And of course, for those who are tapping the screen, I hope you guys are doing great this amazing afternoon. Today, we shall be talking about corruption. And because majority of the discussion I'll be talking about is just all based on corruption. And it is so sad to see we are on a new year. Of course, we don't expect everything to change in a span of a minute or just a second. It will take time for Africa to develop to what we really want it to be. But it is so sad to keep on waking up to so much negativity because of poor leadership and nothing but just poor leadership. I'll be talking about what is happening in Nigeria, and this is something very interesting that just actually came up a few minutes ago, and I want to tackle about it, whereby we have the universities, rather Nigeria, banning degrees coming from other countries like Benin, Togo, Kenya, Uganda, and this is because of corruption inside the system, because we have people who are struggling so hard to get school fees to go to these universities to achieve every goal they want or their careers, and at the end of the day, or at the end of the goal, you find that majority of us end up unemployed. Perfect example and perfect quote I always love referring back to is one I shared some time back here last year, where we have people who never even attended school, rather dropouts, and the one right here in continent. When all degrees ain't enough, you need to go get you start with certificate. They tell you a certificate is not enough. Go get a degree. You get a degree, it's not enough. Get a PhD. masters, it's still not enough. I don't know what angle it will be enough, but it has never been enough. And this is when we talk about lack of employment in the continent. One of the things I uttered about yesterday, where we see because of bad leadership, where we have them now taking Africans to countries like Israel in the farm and giving the colonizers our farm to take over, where we have it now to deal with genetically modified food. It is super, super crazy what is going on in Nigeria, because I'll be showing a video of one of the journalists coming from Nigeria, and I want to tell this brother, I'm so sorry, but the fact that you are literally coming out and exposing the corruption in the continent, you need to be very careful. Last week I did talk about, I think it was last week but one on the culture show, where I did speak about one of these Mary journalists who was found, his eyes were dodged out, his tongue was slit, they did burn him with acid and ended up putting him on a sack, man. It is crazy, because I also spoke of where we speak a lot of truth, which we were talking about yesterday right here on the Africa Today show. We speak a lot of truth, which you won't hear on most of this mainstream media. We are conscious of what you're saying, and it is so sad that when it comes to freedom of expression, because they'll be talking about it, which is majorly like a limitation in the continent. Countries like Rwanda, we see what is happening in Kenya. As much as it is not widely spoken about that it is no freedom of expression, it is still there. It is super, super crazy. He has gone ahead and exposed what is happening when it comes to this, backdoor giving out of certificates, while we have people are struggling so hard to get these certificates. So I'll be sharing that, and also what is happening that is in Kenya, where we have our very own dear president. Again, when you speak about corruption, he himself, he has so many charges that have been withdrawn. And this because when it comes to corruption, where they have to bribe people backdoor, I'll be sharing what our very own, I love personally Boniface Mwangi, our very dear own activist. Shout out to Kamlesh. I always go back to him with that, But Boniface Mwangi shared his thoughts regarding what he feels when it comes to President Ruto and talking about, because they say that he shall not deal with corrupt judges, and this, what this is literally knocking on. This is him calling on changing again the system, where he's going to select other people who are going to work according to him, because apparently the Chief Justice is also denying and talking about where people need to live without fear and freely. Without fear and favor. So karibuni sana once again. Those are our bigger discussions of today. But karibuni sana. I began with an amazing banger. That was the one and only Boondocks Gang. Not Boondock. Yeah, Boondocks Gang, if I'm not wrong. Not really. Yeah, Boondocks Gang, and the name of the jam is Kidole. It is on a Thursday, and of course, it is a throwback. Shout out to you, Steppers. Shout out to Papa, Ishmael Karibu Sana, and of course, to everyone with us in the building. Shout out to you, Brio, #254. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Let me know how you feeling this wonderful afternoon. And as we come back with our major discussions of corruption, what you guys are thinking about this. I'll be coming back with the quote of the day, but for now, this is Diana Code with Riswa featuring Siwa Saida. Hope you guys get to enjoy. Kabisa.
Sí.
Yes, and remember to download our Black Fire Network app on the Google Play Store. If in case you do not have the app, kindly rush to the Google Play Store and just search for Black Fire Network. In case you've been missing all the shows from morning, that is 8 a.m. till late midnight, kindly ensure you do have our app. And of course, if you are an artist, also do send us your link and send a link. Majority of you, when mnatuma link, mnatuma kitu hata yezi tapika. Una expect mimi how am I supposed to go further and look for your YouTube? When I'm standing hapa, you are the one who's literally looking for a favor here. Yeah, so kindly go to the Google Play Store and download our Black Fire Network application. Once again, I always say, one thing I love about our app, if you go to just tap it, it will open and you'll be able to listen to every program that is going on. And you can log out, use WhatsApp, use Instagram, use your email, use your calculator, use anything you want on your phone as a stream on the Black Fire Network application. Enjoy. We also do have the apparel store where you can purchase some merchandise. We have hoodies, we have beanies, we have handbags for the ladies. Yeah, so go check out the goodies we have over there. Once you purchase, they shall be delivered right to your doorstep. Every day I feel blessed. I started out with less. All I had was a big. Yes, and if you have a business that you'd love to advertise with us, also we are open. Our number is 0705-428-388. You can advertise with us, and of course it is negotiable. Let us know what would you love us to work on, rather how would you love us to literally partner. My quote today again comes with gratitude, and it says, be grateful for today and never take anything for granted. Life is a blessing. If you have a quote of the day, kindly share with us. It's an open ground. And of course, karibuni sana once again. This is the Pan-African Bliss. That is Siwa Saida featuring Diana Kodza, and of course you are listening to the one and only JOBY. Shout out to everyone with us on Facebook, on YouTube, on the radio station once again, on Rumble, and of course with us right here on TikTok. Shout out to you steppers, and to everyone who shall be tuning rather tapping in later. Now, starting right away with the matters of the day, of course, I want to start with where I'm starting on my very own dear country, and my major focus today, like I said, it is all under corruption. Corrupt promotion under corruption. That is my topic. Corrupt promotion under corruption. And this only happens in Africa, where we just have corrupt promotion, if you're getting what I'm saying, under corruption. If you do understand this statement, because basically everything I'm about to read here is just super messed up. What Ruto is talking about is about to just employ other corrupt people under corruption, because he's a corrupt person. That is what I'm trying to say. But of course, yesterday, that is was in the evening around 7 p.m. we had our very, very own dear president making a speech and coming out with a statement or saying that he's going to approve. Other Kenyans did go, talking about what the Kenyan leader is saying by threatening to defy corrupt judges. What are the corrupt judges? Because so far, I think the last time we had a corrupt judge, we saw corruption was especially during the election. So let's go back there. But the thing that the Kenyan president William Ruto has come under a barrage of criticisms following his threat to disobey court orders from corrupt judges, he says. That is how he calls them. Mr. Ruto on Tuesday said some unnamed judges had teamed up with opposition politicians and cartels to block his government's project. I mean, which projects? Because if I try to look at project number 1, we were fighting genetically modified food last year, which was eventually actually approved, despite Kenyans demonstrating about this, despite seeing the opposition party coming and calling Kenyans that, you need to be very wary of what is being brought in your country. That was the type of agendas that the country or the judges are trying to, the projects that the judges are trying to stop. The second one was also, we've seen lately, we had the Africa Climate Summit, which we saw Museveni didn't attend. Of course, majority of the leaders were there. We had the UN, the AU, most of these organizations attending this. And this happened right here in the 254. What is the agenda about? If you know about the climate change, agenda, what it is all about, falling still under Agenda 2030 again. So it is messed up. We also saw the matters of LGBTQ, which he did shun away, but we're not sure, because I was surprised when I saw that a few weeks ago, where we have a church which is running, and this is only LGBTQ type of church. Story for another day. A lot of things literally have happened under 1 year of us being led by Ruto. That is all I'm trying to say. So if he speaks about, when he says that some cartels, the opposition politician and the cartels, if I try to look at here, who is the cartel, the biggest cartel? If I try to look at it, to block his government's project. But they go ahead and say, But in a swift response, Chief Justice Martha Koome said a defined court orders was breach of public trust placed in state and public officers. When state, I quote what she said, when state or public officers threaten to defy court orders, the rule of law is imperiled, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, setting stage for anarchy to prevail in a nation. And that is true. She also urged judges to continue performing their judicial duties without fear or favor. Opposition leader Raila Odinga said Mr. Ruto's threat against judiciary amounted to intimidation and disregard for the rule of law. Mr. Odinga said that the president has crossed the line with his attacks against judges. Kenya Judicial Service Commission, which is chaired by Ms. Koome, said in a separate statement that it had noted the president's remark with concern. The Law Society of Kenya has called for countrywide protest next week in solidarity with the judiciary. But Mr. Ruto, in a statement issued by the government spokesperson Hussein Mohammed on Wednesday, that is yesterday, vowed to fight what he termed judicial impunity. The president, who came to power in September 2022, has come under criticism for introducing new taxes amid rising cost of living. I mean, that is the truth. 2 new taxes, the housing levy and the proposed universal health cover deduction, which you know what it is all about, have been challenged in courts and their respective ruling are pending, which is super, super crazy. So that is what is happening. And of course, this is when I talk about corruption. Promotion under corruption. That is what he's trying to do. We're dealing with already a corrupt leader. And just because he doesn't want to be checked in when he's doing what is not favoring the people, he now wants to change the system. Or just because one person opposed him, or a group of people come together and say that, hey, yo, this guy does not own the country. We also have a say in this table. Now he starts to question, or he starts to threaten that is super, super crazy. This is super crazy. When you've been checked for your job, you should do it. You should not find excuses of 1, 2, 3 things. You should do it. You should do it. This is insane. And I'm not going to be surprised if I see him change. I don't know if he has the power. I don't know according to the law if he has the power to change. But I think he did. If he has the power to change the judges, let me see. If he does. Does a president have the power to change the judges? Let me see. Does a president in Kenya have the power to change the judges? Okay. The president shall ensure the international obligation of the republic are fulfilled through the action of the relevant cabinet secretaries. Okay, following the summary rules, President of Kenya has provided is. Okay, I'm not sure. Anyone who knows, kindly let me know. Shout out to you, it's nice to see you. I also see Steppers, you're saying that do today what shall be done. Your tomorrow may never come. Today is pupil of yesterday. That is your quote. Thank you so much for sharing. That is an amazing one. Grand rising to you too. It is nice to see you. Shout out to Masnik Beatmaker. Nice to see you as well. Long time. Zakwana, like I think in a week. Hope you're doing amazing. Nice to see you as well. And of course to everyone tuned in. So I'm not sure about if in Kenya, if the president has the power to change the judges, but I think they do. Because if you're talking about corruption, so yes, I'm not surprised if they do. So this is messed up. But I'm glad that there is a call for protest countrywide. But again, this is a call back to where we speak demonstration. We can't just go without organizing. If it is about literally right now demonstrating, because we're talking about where this guy is imposing taxes every single day, despite the cost of living being super, super messed up, we need to organize a demonstration that is supposed to impeach him. That this guy is supposed to literally withdraw from the seat immediately, with immediate effect. Because the people, it is literally just a year and a few months we're counting right now. But people are so unsatisfied. People are complaining so bad because of today's economic crisis. We're taking loans every single day. My question is, where do these loans apply? These fake roads, which they're literally, again, adding taxes on it so that we can be able to pay the loans because they do not have the money to. What happens to our resources? Production of tea, cotton, the little we can literally be able to now, or whatever we control. Or again, we have AGOA. Talk about it. Talk about it. Africa Growth Act of Opportunity, that is what it's called, AGOA. It is crazy. Just because you can trade, you can export things for free and you don't see value of your resources doesn't make sense to me. You sound crazy. I see Stepper say judiciary is an independent body, like the executive. He has no power over judiciary. Okay, understood. So this is just super insane. But I do hope Kenyans, I'm glad that literally the criticisms are coming from the majority, which is the people, where the power lies, where the power is. That is a reciprocation of people understanding what is happening in the country. You can't be calling people corrupt while you are the number one ruler of corruption. Act like an example of you not wanting to fight corruption in the continent. This is a continuation of it because of your actions. You know, corruption is literally like it's something we feed on Africa because it's a norm. And forgive me if I'm wrong. We've normalized it. Look at the cops when you go to the hospitals, and what I'm about to share right now, when it comes to Nigeria, it is super insane. But that is what is happening in the 254, and that is what I had to talk about today over that situation. And of course, you can let me know, or rather those who shall be catching this show on a replay, leave under the comment section, what your thoughts are regarding Ruto calling corrupt judges. And I bet this is because of him being checked again, because I've read the article. You can see majority of it is because of what he's doing, and where he says that his government projects are being blocked by these corrupt judges. You are the corrupt one here. Why won't you listen? Why won't you sit down with the people you have employed? Try listen to what they have to bring on the table. If it doesn't make sense to you, then right, fine, make a decision. But you don't have to. But you're being checked because you're doing what is wrong. Come on. But moving on swiftly, taking you to Uganda. This is still again as under what we spoke about yesterday, which we saw again AGOA withdrawing, rather Joe Biden sanctioning again Uganda because of anti-gay law. And this happened last year, and it happened again yesterday, which is going to actually affect a lot of jobs. We discussed and dwelled on it. But again, today it is so sad to see that there is a Uganda LGBTQ right activist who has been stabbed. And this is because of hate crime, they call it. They're saying that a prominent LGBTQ rights activist in Uganda, he goes by the name Stephen Kabuye, has been stabbed and seriously wounded by unknown assailants while he was on his way to work on Wednesday morning, the organization says. And he is in dire condition as we ask you all to keep him in prayers. That is what one of the people had to say. And of course, a video posted on Mr. Kabuye's account showed him writhing in pain in a knife in his stomach and apparent wound on his arm. Right activist Frank Mugisha said that hate crimes have no place in Uganda. We urge the police to conduct a thorough investigation. He added that on Twitter. Police have not commented on this. Uganda passed one of the world's harshest anti-homosexuality laws last year, and the law caused global outrage, with the World Bank halting new loans to Uganda, and the US imposing visa restriction on key officials. And of course, yesterday they did add on the AGOA situation. Good morning to you, to Joe Mosquito. Joe Mosquito, nice to see you. Hope you're doing amazing. And of course, they're also saying that anyone convicted of being involved in homosexuality acts faces life imprisonment under the law. And of course, we know all the rules that were passed by Uganda last year. So this is super sad. But I do hope Museveni, because again, one thing, when you talk about, again, go back to organization or organizing, which is what we've been discussing on. when it comes to us finding ways, or rather finding solutions for the problems that we're trying to tackle. We're seeing this an agenda being pushed by the U.S. government, and this because of the deals that we have, or rather our governments or our fake leaders have signed with them. If you don't do it, you're sanctioned. If you don't do it, you're going to be withdrawn from certain organizations that do not even favor your country. That is what they keep on doing. But again, when I talk about organizing, Museveni, this guy, and it makes sense. I think everything he says is told to say because I don't think there's anyone who takes Museveni serious. I'm not sure if there's. I don't think the people who are controlling Uganda and the resources and who selected this Kuna, I don't think they even take him serious for anything he says. I mean, all the African leaders are not, but for Museveni, I think it's even way worse. Because we're talking about organization where he comes and makes speeches. 1 minute he's going to be given round of applause for making a very great speech, favoring his people. The next minute he's going to be begging the U.S. to favor them back to that, whatever he spoke shit about, you know. That is what he does. So when it came to these LGBTQ laws that he imposed in the country, which is what African countries are supposed to be doing, you know, we have our own cultures we're supposed to maintain. We have our own traditions we're supposed to maintain. Though as much as some traditions today are super, super crazy, you know, like eating bushmeat, that is super, super insane. But this is something that Africa should not even be debating. Like I said, we should not be talking about it. The more we talk about it, the more the agenda is being pushed. The more it's being on the table about Uganda doing this, the more other countries are being pushed to accept it. I don't know if you understand. So Museveni just said these are the laws or these are the consequences of homosexuality if you're found. But he has not, and we know very well, he has not brought any, or his country is not even secure enough, can barely even protect his people from such kind of crisis, because this is super, super crazy. If I am an activist, I'm literally on the side of the government, what the government is saying. But of course, because they're calling this a hate crime against human rights and all that, a lot of people are going to lose their lives, because this is going to be in Uganda, next is going to be in Nigeria. Remember, in Nigeria also people are facing consequences of it. Next is going to be Kenya. Remember, in Kenya, actually, this girl just faced justice a few weeks ago. We had a lady who was beaten, raped and beaten because she's a stud. So these cases are going to be on the rise. I just do hope the countries can find a way of organizing as you come with a solution, let this solution have a backup protection. Like, don't just come up with a solution and you don't know what are the dangers ahead. You need to be careful to see what are the, how can I be able to protect the dangers that are ahead? How can I be, because there are people who are going to be able to back up with me or back up my motion, but there are those who are going to hate what I'm saying. So how can I protect those who are literally backing up with my motion? That is what I'm trying to say in simple terms. Museveni should have come up with a very good procedure of how he's going to protect this kind of people. And of course, in this kind of situation, he was just going to work. He was attacked, you can't know. But there should be consequences that such kind of assailants are facing. Heavy consequences. Enough of people dealing with all this nonsense we keep on waking up to Africa. People losing lives over nonsense, over just things we don't even deserve to be going through. It is so sad. But I see John Mosquito is saying that they want to turn Africa into Europe and America. They really are. And it is. Trust me, it shocks me when Kenya says they don't accept homosexuality. Trust me, I'm so shocked. They do. Because I always go back and refer to when we had the Talanta Hela, I think, foundation being held, I think first meeting or first whatever was being launched at the State House. if I can remember clearly. We had so many influencers, including, shout out to King Nudia, very good soul, though. Shout out to, we had Dennis, we had a lot of male who actually consider, men who consider themselves women, and are majority in this makeup, makeup artist genre. And all of them are in the State House taking pictures with our very dear own President William Ruto. And when he was questioned about this, he said that, oh, this is not, we shall not accept this. We need to protect our culture and all that. It is crazy. They are pushing it everywhere right now. And this is why you see what Uganda is going through, or such kind of activists, what they are going through, because of standing up with what is true. Standing up with what is right. We discussed this yesterday. It is only when it comes to black people, when you try to do what is basically right, if you don't try to be a coon, you don't fit in. That is just it. If you can't be a bootlicker, you don't fit in the group. Stay out of the circle. And it's okay. You should stay out of the circle, baby. Stay woke. Stay woke. Know the type of mentalities you're dealing with, because majority of our people are even woke and dumb at the same time. Stay woke. Just like that, the other guy was. I love the kind of information I've been tapping into lately. When he was speaking about melanin, with the energy we vibrate, you need to be very careful the people you also surround yourself with. That should go to Ibrahim Traoré and the rest of the countries that have right now installed true democracy and true freedom. But I don't want to discuss further about this, because we know there's nothing that is going to happen. And these are call upon the future leaders who are going to take charge of the continent. When you try to literally, when you are opposing anything that is being pushed by the United States, and you know that you've been under their organization for long, and you know the cause, the long-term effect of it, find a way on how you can protect your people. And I love, because perfect example I want to give is what Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso is doing. I mean, look at, they've had UN for so long trying to maintain peace in these countries, but instead we've had civilians dying much more. We've had children being raped, women being raped, and all that. But at the end of the day, when they realized all this, they managed to chase all these people away, because they've seen that France, as much as they're fighting, it's still a war going on. It's not going to be easy. They're still living. They are slowly living. The last group left of UN peacekeepers left in Mali, that was last weekend. This past weekend, we discussed on this. That was on Tuesday. And what Burkina Faso is trying to do so that they can ensure they are protecting their people, with the step they have taken, is by uniting or collaborating with Russia, which has provided them with true weapons, which now we can fight the terrorists who have been in these locations, and we take control and charge of locations. Shout out to you, Jesse. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. I don't know if you guys understand, but that is that is what I'm trying to say to the future leader or the leaders. And we're talking about Pan-Africanists. Let them have an organized system on how things are going to take control. But as we move on to the major focus of the day, not really the major because it's still under corruption, it's about Nigeria. This is interesting because I'm not surprised. This has been happening, I think, since my high school also did this. I think my high school did this. I think also the primary I went probably did this. I think so. Shout out to you, Jaguar Power, Karibu Sana. So in Nigeria, it is seeking to ban degrees coming from Kenya and Uganda. And this is because there is actually investigation where we have a journalist who went ahead and reported, rather he's an undercover reporter who narrated how he got a certificate of University of Benin while in Nigeria. You've not attended classes. This is so funny. And I don't know how many of you know of these cases, but personally, I'm not shocked, and I've had this a couple of times. This guy is from Nigeria, and he had applied to go to University of Benin, but he has not attended no class, no nothing, but he has a certificate. He got a certificate of University of Benin within 2 months. Within 2 months only. These cases have been happening in Africa. When you talk about corruption again, this is where the system is. This is how the system is, and this is how it is always working. Shout out to you, Makena. Karibu sana. This is how the system literally works. So I want to read the article, then I'll be sharing the video. For those who are on TikTok, you can listen. For those who are on YouTube, you can be able to, maybe rather if you want to go on YouTube, you can go to Blackout Fire Network, and of course, see, I'll be sharing the YouTube. But Nigeria says it will extend the suspension of degrees accreditation, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, accreditation to more countries, including Kenya and Uganda. This comes days after the West Africa countries suspended the accreditation of degrees from Benin and Togo. And I quote what one of the education of ministers says, that we are not going to stop at just Benin and Togo. We are going to extend the agreement to countries like Uganda, Kenya, and even Niger, here where such institutions have been set up. And the new directive is an effort to stop fraudulent qualifications from foreign degree mills, following an expose by Daily Nigerian newspaper. In an undercover investigation, the newspaper reporter Omar Audu revealed how he obtained a degree for a 4-year program of Benin under 2 months. You're supposed to be in school for 4 years, but you only just get a certificate within 2 months. Welcome to Africa. Hello. Mr. Maman says that he has no sympathy for individuals who will be affected, adding that they are not victims but part of criminal chain that should be arrested. Mr. Maman is the Minister of Education, and of course they're also adding that Nigeria launched a formal investigation into the ministries and agencies responsible for accrediting academic qualification obtained abroad. Mr. Maman said the measure will protect Nigeria employers and the integrity of the country's qualification. Integrity indeed. Especially when you talk about Nigeria, pardon me with the integrity bullshit. Okay, pardon me. And pardon my friends. So let me share this interview very quickly. I loved it personally. I loved how he expressed and analyzed everything. It's a shock everyone also to listen. It's crazy how the school responded when he came out and revealed the video, or rather the information of how he got a certificate under 2 months. So when he came and exposed the school actually rejected this accusation and said that this has never happened. We don't know no student under this institution. So the question is, who processed his papers? Because who sent his name to the Ministry of Education and got the certificate? If the school says that it doesn't have his name, who really processed his name to the Ministry of Education to get the certificate? That is the biggest question right here. But let me share this very quickly, and I hope you guys get to relate with this and enjoy.
One of the biggest stories right now in Nigeria. In fact, this particular conversation has crossed borders. In Nigeria, and then of course proceeded to get a job or something of sort. But in case you're in brief, that report who carried out the investigation, which has now of certificates from universities in the republics of Benin and Togo. We have joining us on the morning brief this morning, Omar Audu. He is a reporter, Daily Nigerian newspaper. Umar, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the Morning Brief.
Good morning, Kayode and the crew, and thank you for having me.
I mean, your work, you've seen the response, the reactions to the work you have done. What a way to start the new year. For some people, this has been a long time coming. For some others, they say, well, this might be a blanket decision that the federal government is making. But before we even get into the reactions to that, speak to us about that investigation you did. There are those who say, did you really have a direct conversation with the school, with the proxy? Is it really a certificate from the school? But just tell us, how was this investigative piece conducted? What inspired it essentially? Then we'll talk about the findings and the aftermath.
All right. Good morning, Nigerians, and thank you once again for having me. So I started this investigation in December 2022, and it was premised on the fact that we've got some Nigerian students lamenting that they got some of their former classmates or colleagues in school who were either dropped out or expelled for one reason or the other. And after a short while,
just a simple brief before I even continue with what he says. This is the same thing that happens when it comes to the government systems, because let's say when I'm going to take an ID, when I need to take a passport or a visa, which right now Kenya is acting very active, you know, they're acting how they're now punctual, releasing the passport within 2 weeks, and if you delay to take it, you're gonna pay a fine. Now they're acting punctual. But back in the days, you had to wait for months. Unless you have money to bribe your way in, this is the same thing I'm talking about. Because how is it that other people have to go all the way 4 years of study, but you get your certificate just within 2 months without attending a class? God damn it. I mean, money. Hey.
You see these guys
I tell you,
wearing NYC uniforms. And it became surprising to them, most of them, that they feel cheated, that why will government allow this? Is this a bad that people can just go out of the country and purchase these degrees and come back and serve their fatherland? So that raised our curiosity, I think in 2018, which led to the government taking some certain decision. But as if that was not enough, and these things keeps going on despite pronouncement by federal government. People, in fact, it got worse to the fact that you just be sitting in the comfort of your home, and this certificate will be delivered to you just like you ordered for a pizza or something. And
this guy just said the certificate is delivered to you like KFC or pizza. Imagine. You're not even going to pick it at school. It's delivered to you. Wow.
You give them your location and...
you talk about equality and equality in Africa. Lack of equality. Let me simplify it like that. This is what we're talking about. There are people who are getting more privileges, and there are those who ain't. There are those who are favored, and there are those who are on the bottom. Sad enough is when we talk about the white supremacy. We talk about the white supremacy where they have literally ensured that the black people shall feel inferior and shall be on the bottom. But now it comes to black on black, another level of racism we're practicing on ourselves.
It's delivered to you. So it was that bad. So that was
special delivery, John Mosquito, I tell you.
That's what motivated me to conduct this investigation.
So essentially, all of this that you got, that image is now all over. That certificate alone is just mind-boggling. So you're saying you did all of that from here to just to be...
Yeah, I never out of it.
Okay, so you never crossed the border, talk more, even attending classes, and you got that. But the school...
Never attended no class, never traveled from Nigeria, just applied for everything, was just seated, and the certificate was delivered like a pizza.
Then you've seen the reaction from the school saying that, hey, we don't have a record of you, the reporter that did the story, that certificate did not emanate from us. Our certificate carries certain things, and well, it doesn't look like this is ours, even though they say investigation is being conducted as well. So how do you react to that? Because the school is saying, no, 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 we are never part of this, and this is not from us.
Someone sent me the statement and I just laughed. And I think they were only trying to be clever by half. And that statement itself is self-indicting. Because, I mean, who sent my name to the Federal Ministry of Education? Because it was the school that sent my name.
Who sent the name to the Minister of Education? If you claim I've never been your student and this certificate is coming from your school, then who in your system sent my name to the Minister of Education and granted me a certificate? Who is it? What is happening in the system? That is the question. Fine, the school is in that is a very great question he did ask over there. Very intelligent. Fine. I've done clear investigation of what your school has been doing without me attending classes and all that, and I got what I wanted. But further from this is wrong. This is wrong. But since I've brought you information, I rather done investigation of what you've been doing, which is corruption, at the highest level, because we're talking about people paying. Demorning spoke about this on Saturday, if you are tuned in. The amount of money people are paying for school fees. What people have to sacrifice to pay school fees. It was very well discussed yesterday by Katie. Black tax. You guys, come on.
To the Federal Ministry of Education, and from there, the ministry sent my name to the NYC saying that I've fulfilled the requirement set by the standards set by the ministry to participate in the NYC. So who are those people? They know them. So and I think that guy, the person who issued the statement, is only trying to I don't know, but I just look at the statement and I laughed. They have my records, and I sent them an email after I finished everything, but they never responded. And even this response you're talking about, they never sent it to us. So I would just assume they are just trying to play games.
You know, crime, because that's the name, that's the right name to call it. It's a criminal offense. How prevalent is it from your investigation?
It is very, very prevalent, because when I went for the physical verification, so you see a lot of people, because this verification is done for foreign students alone. So, and when we got there, people from less turbulent countries, we are easily screened because they have everything that is needed. But those of us from Cotonou and Togo, it was a tedious process, and you see over 50 of us lacking one thing or the other. You see that your entry and exit stamp is not up to date, or residence permit. So there were a lot of issues, and those of us who were victims, we are many. We are more than 50. That was for that batch alone. So in previous batches, it was still the same. It was still the same issues for people who study from Benin. And what that tells you is that anybody you've seen having this kind of issues is definitely, they don't pass through the process as it's supposed.
All right, just a follow-up on that question. I did speak with a former NUC executive yesterday. And he talked about this degree mill. So let me get a few facts right. I checked out the school. I have about 3,000 students and 5 courses.
Hi, Sharon.
And then when they refer to degree mills, sometimes they are not necessarily talking about schools that are not recognized by government. So the certificate you got from that university, did they offer that particular course?
I never offered the course. I was not even issued admission letter. I don't know where the school is located. All I did was to get this agent, and he requested for certain amount of money, which I paid. And on the receipt,
corruption. See, it always has to come with money. And this is what I'm telling you. If you just combine these statements and what I just explained a few minutes ago, even when it comes to some jobs where you have to bribe your way in. So I mean, for men, I don't know how they have to bribe their way in, but now we've seen where people have to take butt plugs, and a lot, because the economy is really soaring up and all that. For women, they have to pay by bending over, majority. Not all of them, but that's how the system is. That's the truth being told. And that's the truth you won't hear. Africa is so corrupt. Like, this is just super, super crazy. I'm not shocked. It's just that this coming from Nigeria, everything always coming from Nigeria just perplexes me every time. Just phases me every time. Every single time. But if you come to Kenya, because you see, Nigeria banned these degrees coming from Kenya, Uganda. So I'm not sure, because they're saying that they say that let me read that again. There's something they mentioned here that I want to understand. We're going to extend the stagnated like Uganda, even Niger, where such institutions have been set up. So yeah, in Kenya, in Uganda, and Niger. So we have this everywhere, literally in most of the African countries. And I'm not shocked, because this is what we've normalized. I mean, to get an easy through pass for you to be able to start your life, you must pay some, you must bribe someone. Crazy.
It was issued that I was
so he didn't have to attend
and I
class.
paid 380,000 as tuition fee and other expenses for the evaluation letter, even though subsequently there were demand for some more money, so which I paid.
They demand for more money. Despite asking for bribe, they still want more money. I mean, this is what we were talking about yesterday in the evening for some time. Crazy.
So I never attended the school. I never attended any class, either online, virtual, or physical.
So
on their website, it's indicated that they offered mass communication, and also from the letter sent to the NYC from the Ministry of Education, said they offered. They are allowed
so
to
no
offer
idea
mass
of where the
communication.
school is located.
So
one, we have agents working for that school too, who are taking money, and they have a website where you can apply for their courses. This is just so crazy and so funny at the same time. Trust me, I enjoyed, and I'm still laughing and enjoy listening to this, because this is crazy. So you don't know where the school is located, never attended the classes, not even physically or online. Fine, you're dealing with agents. They ask you for money, you pay, and they still want more money so that they can get you the certificate. And more. Crazy.
Is accredited. The course is also accredited by.
I'm not even sure of the courses they are offering. So when are they getting the certificates? That's the question. That is the biggest question. We're not even. God, this is just so crazy. I also have a question for this journalist. Like, I also have questions for him.
By the Federal Ministry of Education.
Because that is the question I'm asking is quite critical, because sometimes they say some schools are recognized. However, there are certain courses that are not accredited by the university. That's why, Bukola.
Yeah, I watched that interview that you had yesterday, Jeffrey, with the former VC, or what's the position now with the NUC. He said some are approved and some are not accredited. But you keep referring to the Federal Ministry of Education, Mr. Umar. Is that Federal Ministry of Education the one in Benin Republic or the one in Nigeria? I ask this because you talked about the delay in getting your letter of evaluation, which speaks to this question. Are they taking advantage of a loophole within our own system, or there are officials in our own institutions, be it the Federal Ministry of Education or the NYSC, that are working in cahoots with these agents?
Yeah, so I literally didn't have any business with Federal Ministry of Education in Benin. So it's our Federal Ministry of Education here in Nigeria. Because I mean, they are the one responsible to evaluate and certify these universities outside Nigeria. So, and I think these guys, these rackets, have some people who they are conniving with in the Federal Ministry of Education here in Nigeria to enable these things to be going on. Because if they are not working in cahoot, as you mentioned, there is no way this could be possible.
Another thing that our guest on that program said yesterday is that if you check these universities, you find that a lot of their own students are not in those universities, that more of Nigerian students are found there. In the course of your investigation, is this also one of your areas of concern? Did you ask questions to this effect?
Yes, I got to gather that most of their own citizens don't attend this university. But here in Nigeria, they rush there because it's a business for them. So, and they don't care. But their own student knows that these schools lacks the standard to offer them the kind of education they need. So they don't go there. It's only here people from here in Nigeria who need express degrees that rush there within a month or two. They are back, and for
because our government have failed to create a good educational system. That is why you see it is crazy where we had Kenyan doctors being taken from Kenya to Cuba, and Cuban doctors coming to Kenya and getting more money. Excuse me, you sound dumb. The poorest country in the world coming to help Kenya with intelligence. Make that make sense. And telling Kenyans you're going to explore more knowledge than what you fail to offer and create right here, because that is what it is, and that is what you don't want to say. We have failed to create systems that can work and offer you great jobs. We have failed to offer skills also at classes, so when you come out with the job opportunities we've created, it's going to be easier for us or for you to get employment. This is just crazy. This is the same thing when you talk about Africa being the same copy and paste. It is no lie. I'm surprised they have not mentioned South Africa being part of this. I'd not be shocked. I'm surprised. I bet Ghana too. I bet Malawi too. Zimbabwe somewhere. Rwanda somewhere. It's everywhere. It is crazy. But let me share the list, last bit parts of it as I get to wind up.
Your earlier response, do you think that the Federal Ministry of Education should be part of this investigation that has been brokered by the federal government if they're working suspiciously now?
Question number one, that is not even a question, that is an answer. The Ministry of Education, the federal government of it, whatever, all of them, they should be involved. From the word go is, why are you a minister of education while you don't know what is happening behind the universities, the colleges, the secondaries, the primaries? Like, what is your job, baby? I want to understand. Because when you stand up for responsibility, we're supposed to see you working, and we're supposed to see literally you taking effect of growth. There should be growth, not more chaos, not literally the system going down. There should be a development. That is you taking charge of your work. But none of these leaders, have we seen them? None of them. Apart from making up nonsense, which is full of loans. And they tell us, that is the best I could give. There's never been any president like me. Shut the F up. Because it's all a lie. So to this lady, you even sound wrong. You've been a journalist asking that, and I get you. So you look pretty smart enough to understand what is happening. Yes, the Ministry of Education, the Federal of Education, however you call them in Nigeria, they should be involved in this investigation. And this is something that should not even be discussed, because that is part of their job, ensuring this kind of corruption or this kind of nonsense does not take place. But because that's how the system is all about Africa, power. I'm getting money, and that's it. Let me just show up in the office. People to see that I'm always on the suit, the best suit in town. Got the latest car because of I'm trying to appear in the office every single day. But there's nothing you're doing. What value do you have? It's always the question of what is your value? This is something else that Africans never check. When it comes to this puppets, what value have they added to the country, to the continent? Nothing. Shout out to you, Hamia. Haya. I don't know, Fire. Karibu sana. Such a tough name over there.
Now in cahoots with these agents that get these certificates.
Yes, please. They should. They are the major people that this report indicted, except for the immigration also, and maybe NYC. But the most of these ministers have taken this full step. I just wish it would end.
Right now I want to pardon the guy saying that, right now, I'm glad they have come out and spoken. The Minister of Education now has saying that they're going to take strict measures. I don't know. If this has happened before, because you say this is not the first time, it has happened before, it's going to happen again and again. It's going to happen and again and again. It's going to happen. Because if this happened maybe during Buhari's time, what's going to make you think that during Tinubu's time it's going to change? A guy who barely even thinks about the people's situation but just a bulletproof car. For his wife, baby. And a whole yacht. And they say don't discuss a president's spending. That is his work. Shout out to Ruth also saying the same. This is just super crazy. The Minister of Education is supposed to be held responsible for.
Actually, don't get the question, but if there's complicity in the Federal Ministry of Education in this court, that should also be looking at their own activities.
No, from the statement I saw yesterday, I think they work in collaboration with the DSS and other security agencies. So definitely they will involve the security agencies. And in fact, yesterday, one of them invited me, one of the security agencies in the country invited me for a meeting which they require some information. So I think...
Shout out to you, Chris. Nice to see you.
Since the DSS is involved, definitely they won't be the judge on their own case.
Well, we'll be expanding the conversation.
It is crazy, but I'm sharing the rest of the video right here on StreamYard in case you want to continue with the rest of the interview. It is quite amazing. I loved where he's gonna be talking about where he fears for his life because of this, exposing the government. And like he said, this is not the first time. This is the second time he's done it. And of course, I saw under the comment where people were literally acknowledging him and encouraging him because of the courage he has. Yeah, that was such a statement. Yeah, encouraging him because of the courage he has. So one of the comments I read that was positive is that Nigeria has been in dire need of investigative journalists. God bless and protect Umar, a courageous journalist. This is how journalism should be. David Hundre, be rest assured that you are raising an army of true journalists. May many more journalists take cue, and I pray that Nigeria government will always use the information for this from this new generation goals. Get better investigative journalists to sanitize our system. I am sincerely and eagerly waiting to see what will be done about this information. So that was one of the comments from the video, and we also had one saying, "Thank you, Umar. This is a syndicate, and it did not just start. Indicated it is only the University of Benin Republic, but where so many in the African continent this is happening." That is from also another person. And the last but not least, it says that this is a refined journalism as its best, unlike those beer parlor stations who run and control the system of the browsing internet, feeding on junk news and integrated non-serious public issues. It is crazy. So those are some of the comments that I got from that particular video. And of course, also CK Williams in the building. Karibu sana, saying that what's up, Joby? The time it is exactly 5:43 on your end. It is 1:48 on my end. And of course, Karibu sana. You're also saying that waiting on my train. It is cold out there. Be careful. Take care. Keep warm. For us, it is actually warm today. It was warmer earlier, so I'm not sure about what it is really outside, but it is a good weather today. Yeah. So also see you're saying that same bullshit, a bunch of sellouts. That is what is happening in Africa, and I hope this comes to stop. Shout out to Frida Channels, Frida Media. Hope you're doing great. This is not going to change, just like what the comment have read. It has to come from the new generation, where we are realizing this system as being like this for the longest time. This is how they have been operating. When we hear Ruto talking about the cartels, he's part of the cartels. When he talks about the corrupt judges, he's the one actually, who put in the corrupt judges. Now, because people are starting to see the truth, people are starting to wake up and seeing the BS that they've been talking about and what they're trying to do, affecting people's life. He claims now this is a corrupt system. People are trying to literally go against his projects. What projects? Go question yourself, because under 1 year again, there's a lot that has happened in the 254 that we shouldn't be discussing, but that is what is happening. Again, as I wind up, I hope Africa, with this kind of, situations, I fear for the journalists, I fear for us, because a few platforms get to talk about the truth of what we do. That is just the truth. And we've seen the repercussions of, like, where we discussed Kagame. He hunts his journalists down to where they are. You take a plane to South Africa, you hunt it down. They don't care. He doesn't give a damn. And this is why you see South Africans, not South Africans, but Rwandese, don't have freedom of expression, because journalists are limited to speech when it comes to freedom of expression. It's not just only actually in Rwanda. We've seen cases from Cameroon. Actually, in Cameroon, cases of journalists dying, it's a lot. And are we the same? I've seen the same. In DRC Congo, I think I've reported a couple last year. In Kenya this year, as actually sadly towards the end of the year, we saw the saddest one, having a young man who is a blogger, having his eyes gouged out. In 2022, towards the end of the year as well, we also had a journalist, actually a blogger, shot a couple of times, and they left him there. So as much as we live, I personally, I don't think I'm scared of anything right now, being honest, because I think I've learned so much, especially spiritually, which we've been talking about. Death is all an illusion. You're going to die and come back. I'm really passionate about what I do. I really wish I can. I was actually enjoying, the reason why I've enjoyed the interviews, because I really wish I can do that, being on the ground, checking and then investigating what is happening. I even thought about it and gave it an imagination, me having a biro that has a camera or some glasses that have a camera, just me always flexing and doing investigation. That is some dope ass shit. It's really, really dope. It really makes you yearn for more information. Personally, passionately speaking, that's how it feels. And that's why I'm saying I hope Africa, or when we're going to have a Pan-Africanist leader, we're going to have an organization, we're going to have an organized system on how things are going to run. Once we start rejecting and taking back our culture and making Africa to what it's supposed to be. We need to know that on the other end, these people are not willing to let go without a war. So we should be organized. That is how simple it is. Don't be yapping like Museveni, because that's what he does. That's what this friend of mine, because he's my friend, that's what he does. Okay? Don't be like my friend Museveni, please. Have an organized system. Organize your things. To all the journalists, my fellow journalists, shout out to you, Manze, to all the courage you wear. If you do cover up amazing stories like this, especially when it comes to covering up and I'm covering the truth, shout out to you, to the courage you wear. Shout out to the amazing, amazing young man from Nigeria for covering that, because that was risky, I bet, because you do things being scared, and of course with the fear of the unknown, not knowing what is going to happen. Shout out to you. It is really, really amazing. And I hope we as Black Warfare, we're going to get to that point where we can do such, because it would be really, really dope. I'd really love to do such kind of, cover up stories on the ground and all that. So shout out to the guy, and shout out to all the amazing, amazing people outside there. And those who have been with me right here on TikTok, shout out to you, Faria. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I'll see you saying that don't be afraid, just beware. I am. But I tell you, our line of work, it's super, super crazy for us, because we ain't Citizen, we ain't NTV, we ain't BBC, we ain't CNN. We're not being controlled what to say. We freely speak, expressing what we know. And that is risky, that is dangerous, especially me being on the continent. So you just need to be wary. I'm always conscious, and I'm always conscious. Trust me, I'm always conscious. And I believe the universe has nothing but just the best in store of my career. I also see Faria saying that imaginations comes to life. That is true. That is true. Because personally, I'm not gonna lie, I created what I'm living through imagination. Imagine, believe it, and do it. That is just what it takes. But much love, family. Have an amazing, amazing, beautiful day. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, once again, on YouTube, on the radio station, those who have been with me, those who are live with me on Spreaker, those who shall listen to this on Spotify, and those who shall catch this on Rumble, rather, those who have been live with me on Rumble. Asanteni sana, asanteni sana once again. See you guys later on the Black Kings frequency. Shall be coming back with amazing, spicy conversation. And of course, later, remember, we shall be back on the culture show where we get to touch down the floor, okay, with amazing, amazing music. Asanteni sana once again. With Kamlesh and I, much love. Shout out to you, boss. Shout out to MC, your brother. Shout out to Faria once again. John Mosquito. Continue for opportunity. This has been the Pan-African Bliss. I've been your host, JOBY. See you guys later.
Every day I feel blessed. I started out with this. All I had was a bitch. Every day I feel blessed. I started out with
I am okay, really, I'm sorry. I am very, very careful, trust me. And I think I'll share this story tomorrow, since tomorrow we shall be having a very interesting conversation and of course a fun show, as we always do. So I'll be giving a short story of the kind of insecurities I've had since I started my journalism and where I've felt like I'm being watched. So I'll give my story.